You're kicking it with the Christians. You're kicking it with the Christians. One marriage, two hustlers, it shows. We'll travel the globe in search of endless possibility. You're kicking it with the Christians. Together we'll conquer it all. Take the highs with the lows, cause there's no losing with this energy. You're kicking it with the Christians.
Welcome back to another podcast, man. We have some special guests here today. By the way of Martell. Martell told us about you guys.
All right.
And man.
All right.
Shout out
to my man Martell, New Black Wall Street, all the things, you know.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about we want you guys to introduce yourself to the audience, who y'all are, what y'all doing, and whoever want to start first.
Go ahead, man.
You want to start?
Go ahead.
I know you're going to do that. Ladies first. So I'm Mika Watkins. I'm one half of the PowerMate duo.
Okay.
And we are pretty much all things relationship and matchmaking. We work with folks anywhere from being single and frustrated, wanting love but not knowing what I'm doing, to I got my boo, I'm ready to go. Everything secure in the bag. Exactly.
All right, so if you do me one thing, can you move the mic just a little bit to you, a little bit like
towards this
like, yeah, like that.
Okay.
Right there. All right, good. All right, let's go. Let's go to the other half.
All right, the other half in the building. What's going on, y'all? I mean, Mika said so much about what we do, but we really at the heart of it, we teach people how to do dating differently.
Yes.
We realize there's no strategy in dating. So a lot of people who are naturally attracted to our message are entrepreneurs, leaders, people with a purpose and a vision. So they have to go about dating different. You can't do it like everybody else. So we're big on building what we call relationship wealth.
Okay.
And that's built on chemistry, compatibility, durability, and sustainability in order to really have what we call a PowerMate relationship. So that's what we're about. So we do matchmaking, relationship, consulting, all the things, you know.
Oh, that sounds good though.
I love that.
I
love that. I was just going to ask, how did you guys come up with the name PowerMate? How did the name come about?
That's a great question.
It kind of came from our journey, right? That's how we got started. That's how the business got started, how we met, how we came together. And a lot of people would say to us, you guys are like that power couple.
Okay. I like that.
And I'm not, we've never been, anything that's popular or a fad or whatever to just roll with it.
Yes.
So it really just came from taking the term power couple and really putting our own spin from it and really just telling people like the result that they'll get from working with us. Like that's literally what you're going to get.
And I think you have to, and just to echo what Mika said, you have to really become the PowerMate before you have the PowerMate relationship. So we're big on that. So the first thing we do is we teach you how to really find your purpose, how to find the inner power before you find your PowerMate. So I think instead of just having the superficial, we're a PowerMate because we both got good jobs, we said, let's put some more depth behind what we're talking about so we can really build sustainable relationships.
Right. I love that. I love that. So how did you guys meet?
Oh,
yeah, let's talk about that. Let's
get back to how y'all met first.
Okay.
Real little story.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Your turn.
All right. This is an honor. I don't get to tell the story this time. This is an honor. Long story short, it's a long story, but I was in Dallas, Texas. She was in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
And
that's a
major leap. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge leap. And what was funny is that it wasn't through a dating app or nothing like that. One of my homeboys randomly told me about a Facebook group about Black people that like to travel. I like to travel a lot. So I was like, okay, so you need to get on here, man. Might get you a travel girl, travel babe, you know how. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. I said, well, sure, let me see what's shaking, So I get on there and I'm on there for maybe a week or so. And there's a post that comes up and I'm kind of checking it out. It goes something like, says sex is good, but would you support your woman in her life endeavor? Long story short.
I love it.
So I got on there, I popped my ism. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay for the show?
Hey, man, look, this show is only for the adults.
All right, cool. All right, cool.
Like, there's some adult content.
Yeah, it is. But I got, if y'all don't mind, let Mika say this part. I like what she says.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Mika. What did I say?
So, I joined the group maybe about 2 weeks prior.
Okay.
And it was the same kind of scenario. A girlfriend of mine, we were both single, and we were, doing the whole online dating thing or whatever. And I was having horrible experiences. Like horrible. And I had taken a break from online dating, but she was like, "Oh, I found this group. I know you love to travel, so why don't you check the group out?" So I
Okay.
did the same thing, got in there, kind of browsed around for a bit, had a few conversations, and then I woke up and the same post was in the group. And again, that's exactly what it said. And when I looked at it, there were like one-line responses, a whole bunch of people like post, whatever. But then there was one post that stood out because it was like a paragraph. And it said something along the lines of, not only would I support her, but I would open up my wallet and 50 Shades of Grey on that ass. And I was like, hold on a second. I like this. What you say? So I kind of read the response, but I went to the 50 Shades and I was like,
Come on.
so what do you know about that?
Right.
And he responded back and he was like, I've been right here. And I was like, well, let's go. So the moderator who was in the group, who originally posted it, she saw what was going on and she jumped in and she was like, Rio, you need to jump into Mika's DMs like
Come
ASAP.
on,
Right.
give it to her.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm waiting. Like, so sure enough, I kind of left it alone, kind of went on about my morning. And then I was like, hold on. If he messages me, I'm not going to know because we're not friends.
I got you.
So when I went and I checked my message request, there he was. And he jumped in my DMs and he literally never left.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love that. I also love how assertive you were. Like, because a lot of women, they shy away from it, but you took action.
And
So-
this is what we teach a
Yeah.
lot to our clients and folks that listen to us, right? There were over 40,000 people in that group.
Oh, wow.
So if you're single, you're out here on the market, like we did a challenge last week and we're teaching a lot of stuff. And especially when people are online dating, there's over 8,000 dating apps
Oh,
that's
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Don't we know?
Yeah.
the whole thing about it is, if you are like this one person amongst all these people on these apps and out here in these virtual dating streets,
That's true.
how are you going to set yourself apart?
That's true.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
you have to do something that's different. You have to say something that's different to be able to grab somebody's attention, for them to be able to even see you, let alone try to maneuver and try to get to date you and all the things.
That's true.
Right,
That's
right.
true.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think like we met online.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did.
So we met on POF.
Okay.
Okay. People was like, y'all been on POF. That's kind of ratchet.
It's so old now.
It's old now, though.
Started off
Yeah.
here. Like,
So we met on POF and it was pretty good though. So
Okay.
now we've been married for 5 years.
All right. Right. on.
Been together for 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I tell men, it don't take long when you find the right woman.
That's it. That's
You know
it.
what I'm
That's
saying?
it. And that happens a lot. When you said that, we coach a lot of women, men too, but they're like, man, we've been together in this situationship for so long, and he hasn't really jumped at all. Like, even when we bring up the subject, he turns his head. He's not really interested in talking about it. So that's one of the things that I say, that what you just said, man. When I knew, and it was 5 months before we met in
Come
person.
on.
We met 5 months. So it was all done virtually, all long distance, and I like to touch.
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
touching or nothing. You know what I mean? But it gave us a chance to really build chemistry and
Yes.
compatibility. So at the end of the day, if he's not really trying to pursue the situation, then you really got to evaluate the situation.
You know what? And I always try to tell people too that in order for you to get in some kind of relationship, you need some isolation time.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem is people jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship and never give themselves a chance to breathe.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
get to know yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And that's actually what makes us unique in our markets. We actually tell people to stop. And I think that's different, because what happens is when you learn a bad behavior, it starts to be on autopilot.
Yes.
That's true.
So we have to tell you to stop. And I think that's what shocks people. You need to pull yourself off the app for a second, pull yourself away from going on these dates because you're doing it wrong. Well, let's get in some good information so you can start dating with real intention.
Yeah.
And I think that's really been beneficial for us.
But
in our
on
community.
top of that, too, you have a lot of folks, right? When they're like, yes, I'm ready for this relationship. And you say, well, what have you done to prepare? And they're like, oh, I've been doing the work. And when you really start to talk to them and really get into the weeds of what it's really going to take to be in a relationship, it's like, oh, I didn't deal with that. Oh, I have this from my past. And it's like, you want to rush into, yes, a PowerMate relationship is great. A long-term relationship is great. It comes with its ups and downs. But if you haven't prepared yourself, it's like going to the gym.
Yes.
I want to lose 20 pounds. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to be like, do 12 incline and all these things on the machine.
That's true.
And expect that I'm not going to be hurting the next day. You
Right.
can't do that. You got to go in and gradually do it. But even before doing all of that, I'm going to prepare myself, even if it's mentally, or what do I need to do when I'm there? Learn a few things before I start to, do what I need to do.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So another thing too, though, because I really when I was going down y'all page, I was like, I love y'all already got the boot camps rolling.
Yeah.
The boot camps are fun though.
Yeah,
they're real fun. You get a chance to talk to people. Yes. And people are. I tell people all the time, like when you build your community, that's when everything comes to you.
Absolutely.
Because we always have conversations about topics that people don't even. Hey man, y'all really talking about that today?
Yeah.
Like,
I think people just want to feel safe and invited, like comfortable, and that other people are experiencing some of the same things that they are. But I like that you guys work on the individual piece and then move to, okay, let's see if we can get you prepared to be in a relationship. Are you ready? That piece I really love, because that is different. Because most people just ask, like, what do you like? They're going off of a paper.
The generic.
Maybe some like virtual interview, but it's like you guys are really getting hands-on, in touch. You're inviting other people to be involved. So I love that. So your mission moving forward, like, what do you want people to visualize and see when they hear PowerMate?
Oh man, when they hear, for me, when somebody says PowerMate, I want them to think all things love and relationships.
I like that. I like that.
It doesn't matter if I'm single, if I'm dating, I want a relationship, I'm married. PowerMate has something for me to get me to have a brand new perspective, a fresh perspective on having a healthy relationship. Because anybody could be in a relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
But is it a healthy relationship? Or am I communicating? Am I learning how to communicate effectively?
Yes.
Do I know how to be vulnerable? Do I know how to create, like a lot of people right now, they want safe spaces so that they can be vulnerable and share. Do I even know how to create that type of environment, not just for myself, but for somebody else?
Yeah, and I think that's good though, because a lot of times people looking for not only when they're meeting someone, like my biggest thing when I was single was like trying to find somebody that matched my energy.
Exactly.
And then it was funny because I was about to get off of POF, and she said she was about to get off of POF.
I'm out of here. This is crazy. People are crazy in here.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the guys sending dick pics. That's not the way to date, guys. And I'm not even trying to match you up, but I know y'all telling them that's out, right?
That's out. That's out. That's all. That's tactic. That's played out. That's all they played out.
Right. And I was getting ready to log off, and I think you messaged me right before I log off, and he was like, "Hey, you want to do lunch?" And I'm like, "Did you just ask a normal question?" He asked a normal question. Yes, but here's my number. Text me because I'm getting off.
Yeah. And we have had a lot of single people on our podcast, and we learned that they all have issues.
So we hear the trauma piece.
Yes.
So how do you guys deal with that piece? Like people bringing up their past. Like if you're gonna date, to me, like you don't go on a date and talk about your past.
Right.
So is that something that you guys work on?
You do not do that in the beginning.
No, that's not a good look.
That's where like the pre-work comes in, the therapy comes in.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually wrote a book. We have a workbook that we the first book that we released together. And it's called Expose Love Unstuck, and it's a self-care guide to attracting your power mate.
I like that.
And the type of work it literally is a workbook, because it takes you through scenarios and asks you questions that you literally have to write the answers out to. We have people we did a book study when we released the book in 2020.
Okay.
And we actually walked them through 8 weeks of each chapter of the book. And now we have people go through the book, and when we follow up, it's like, oh, I really got to sit down and spend some more time in chapter 1. I didn't get past chapter 2. That work, the work that I've done, they realize that they haven't even skimmed the top of the surface.
Come on.
It's almost like, I mean, we're not clinicians, but it's almost like therapy in a book. It's the self-work that you need to do before going into a relationship, or even figuring out, like, am I ready to share me with somebody else?
Yeah, I think I want to go back. Go ahead.
No, and I was going to add real quick what she said. And what we do is, I like that we're about action. We do experiential learning.
Okay.
So we're about action. So we don't just sit around and talk about doing dating differently. We
talk
do
about it. Yes.
So I think that's what you got to do. Like, it's one thing people are. Matter of fact, we talk to people who are experts all the time about relationships in general, but when it comes to your relationship, you're not.
Yes.
Because you're trying to coach yourself and matchmake yourself. You need help. A dentist needs a dentist, right? So there's nothing wrong with going to get help, you know what I mean? And then being held accountable for doing things in a different way. So yeah.
I wanted to talk about earlier what you said. You gotta slow down though.
Okay, all right.
You said, I think it was 5 things.
Yeah, he dropped some gems.
All right.
Break down each one.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Why it's important and like why y'all do each step like that. Break it down because you was fast.
No doubt.
I'm like this.
You know what I mean? I'm like Twister a little bit. You know what I'm talking? I'm like Twister, but so there's different phases, and we're talking about.
Let's talk about the phases.
Let's talk about the phases. So the first phase is going to be your chemistry phase.
Okay, let's break that down.
Right? Okay, so chemistry phase is the endorphins. Chemistry phase, we met somebody, we have a whole lot of great conversation. I met somebody that get the butterflies in my stomach. I start visualizing me and this person being together. So I'm still in that fantasy mode right now, to be honest. So I have great chemistry, which is important.
Okay.
Can't skip over that part, but you can't build a relationship on chemistry alone.
I got you.
Right? You can't do that.
Yes.
We've all tried it. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? We've all tried it.
Before we move on, that's the reason why, because we get this question all the time.
Okay.
I met this person, we started talking, everything was great, and it kind of fizzled out. And that's because you didn't get too deep into the other parts to keep the chemistry afloat. So going back to what he said, you can never build a relationship on chemistry alone. Because that chemistry, it comes and it goes, right? You got to be able to have the other elements.
And especially if you're not involving together. Because at the end of the day, the person who you marry might not be the same person 20 years from now.
Absolutely.
So if y'all not growing together, then it's gonna be like, all right.
Absolutely. All right. Cool. So we're in chemistry. So the next step would be compatibility.
Okay.
And you really can't put the cart before the horse. And the reason why people mess up is they go to compatibility without building chemistry. So you find like sometimes women start interviewing men or men start grilling women real quick. Because you're trying to say, wait, I'm tired of wasting time. I'm like, how many times you go to church? Kind of like, oh, whoa. You know what I mean? Like,
when we getting married?
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have a chance to build chemistry. You know what I mean? So in our group, we have some really thought-provoking questions. And for men, we have the 21 questions for men. Where the men actually ask questions that are relevant to where they want to be in progression in life to make sure they're compatible with the right woman, so they're not living in a fantasy. Same thing with women, where I go and actually do a list and say, wait, okay, this is something I got to watch. This is not checking. It's called, you know what you got to do? You got to use emotion and logic. Yeah. And a lot of people don't do that. They're only emotional or logical. And you got to have a balance of both.
That's true.
So that's compatibility.
Okay.
I like that.
The next one is going to be durability.
Okay.
So you have to have two partners that are durable. And that talks about...
That's good, though. That's really good, though.
That is their mindset. That is asking questions about hard times in their life and how they overcame those things. So that's like, how do you handle conflict? How do you handle... Like, that's asking those questions, right?
Yes.
So sometimes we don't do that like we should. So I'm trying to see if you have durability and we can go through the tough times together.
Where, like when you get into that long-term relationship where you're progressing in a relationship and you have like that first fight or whatever.
Oh, yeah. You ready to get out.
Yeah, right. I'm out.
Exactly. It's like, where's your sense of durability? You said you wanted this long-term.
That's true.
Like, we already knew coming into this, it wasn't going to be like, oh my God, all butterflies and roses and all the things.
Well, what about those couples that we interview couples too now?
Okay, all right.
And they say we don't ever argue.
Listen, that is a I'm not gonna cuss. That is a bold-faced lie. That is incorrect.
We meet those couples.
They come in and say they don't fuck. And I think so. To me,
I know they're lying.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you work together. Lord help us.
We have discussions.
You're gonna argue.
You're gonna argue.
Yes.
Period. But I think you have to. Durability also goes into fighting fair.
Okay.
And sometimes people don't fight fair, and you want to be with somebody who's gonna fight fair. And fighting fair means we're going to fight the problem together, not fight each other, which is a big difference in a relationship. So that's the kind of person you want to be with, is the person going to fight a problem, not fight me.
Okay.
And so that's going to go with durability. And then sustainability means that we're gonna grow, we're gonna evolve, we're gonna progress, and I want to see you progress.
I like that.
We can't be in a relationship with somebody who's competing against us. We got to collaborate. We can't compete.
Come on,
so I need to have that element as well. And so unless I put all those things together, especially for somebody who has a purpose driven, they gotta do things and take risks as an entrepreneur. You cannot date like everybody else. You cannot. Like you're gonna drive them crazy. You're a risk taker. You're different. You're probably the black sheep. You all the things. So you can't just date like everybody else. You gotta date with a strategy.
So do you guys think it's harder for entrepreneurs to find compatible people?
I wouldn't say harder. I would say it's different. If an entrepreneur is going out trying to approach dating like everybody else, they're going to face more difficulty.
Oh, I like that.
When an entrepreneur understands that as an entrepreneur, I have a different lifestyle. I'm facing different challenges in my life. I have other things going on that the regular, corporate or 9-to-5 or whatever does not have. Then you understand when you meet somebody, your line of questioning in the getting to know them phase is going to be different.
Okay.
Because of your lifestyle, right? For an entrepreneur, depending on where you are in your journey of business, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, let me come join you at happy hour. Get off work at 5. Why are we going to hit up? No, it's like the person you're dating, they're going to have to understand, depending on your business, this phase of business that you're in, the stages, what's going on, your clients, all the things. You might be able to try to lock down your first date for 2 weeks just because your schedules aren't crossing.
Yes.
And then it all depends. Like, are you an entrepreneur as a single parent? Like,
it's a lot of variables in there.
A lot of variables.
Exactly.
Do you guys think that there's non-negotiables in relationships? Like, I mean, when people are getting into relationships, like, is it okay for them to have non-negotiables? Because I hear that a lot. Like, these are my non-negotiables.
You 100% have to be aware of what your non-negotiables are.
Hold on, before you get too deep though on that, because is a non-negotiable is the same as a red flag?
No.
Okay.
That's a good question. That's a real good question.
When you have your quote-unquote list, right? You have the things on your list that are like, first of all, you should have 3 things.
Okay.
You should have pros about any relationship.
Okay, I like that.
Cons about any relationship, and also your non-negotiables or like your deal breakers.
Got you.
The same thing isn't going to be on all 3 parts of your list, right? If you have, let's say, for me, a non-negotiable might be like violence in my relationship, domestic violence. Like,
that's good.
Hands down, if that happens, like somebody's going to jail, somebody's dying, whatever it is, like it's just we're not going to go down that road. For somebody else, it might be, oh, he lied to me about how much money he made or whatever.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Where they came from. So you have your non-negotiables. You're aware of what those are. If those things come up, it's like, I'm not moving forward. But then you have like your red flags, or like, if this is on the con side of the list, I could kind of deal with it and work with it and move through, depending on what's on the pros side of my list.
I want the single people to quit putting boundaries as non-negotiables.
Okay.
That's what they do. Because you're gonna have to compromise in a relationship.
Come
on, you know what I'm saying? So you put things in there that are like you're talking about things that are compromisable. Like that's gonna be a part of a relationship. So you got to look at non-negotiables are very serious. It means like there is no talking. So that's different.
Because to me, when I do hear non-negotiables, it kind of brings up red flags too. You know what I'm saying?
Here's an example, and we've heard this a lot. Oh, he doesn't communicate with me enough. He doesn't call me enough. That's enough. I'm just gonna stop talking to him because he just doesn't call me enough. Well, did you express the level of communication you wanted when you started talking to this person?
That's true.
That way they're aware. Or if you want him to call you every day, do you even have the capacity to be talking on the phone multiple times, like every day? You know what I mean? So really understanding, like, is that a boundary? Is that something I'm going to address when it comes up? Or is it like, if this happened, hands down, we're not even going to talk about it. We're just going to keep it moving.
Right.
I got you.
But I feel like singles rush it. So I can know you for 2 weeks because my single friends tell me about their experiences. So it's like, oh, I'm talking to this guy or whatever. And then they're only 2 weeks in and he's like, oh, you're not calling me, or, oh, I text you, you didn't text me back.
What about the girl that says the first day she meet her, she's dropping, oh, I've been molested. Oh, I've been like, she's just dropping.
That too.
Yeah, that's heavy.
But I'm just saying, like she said, I need to know like your schedule, like what you do, so that way I know, like, you may not be able to communicate with me like that if you're busy during these hours, or if you're working during these hours.
That's good.
Then I may not be available to text you all day.
Exactly.
Like, I may not be the person for you.
This is why the time needs to be spent in that chemistry phase. Once you recognize that, yes, there's this chemistry there, like something about this person, they get me going. Like when I get off the phone, I want to talk to them again or whatever it is. It's like, all right, I want to get to know him more now.
Yeah.
Now we start talking about, okay, your schedule, your lifestyle. What do I like to do? What do you like to do? Do you like to go to dinners, to coffee? Do you like to travel, the park?
That's good.
Whatever. All of those things comes out when you're going from that chemistry phase into that compatibility phase.
And what we do too is we actually get so serious about it as we have our clients do PowerMate vision and mission statements.
I love it.
That means that early in the situation, I can tell you and express to you what I want. And a lot of times they're not good at that. So what they would do is they would sit back and play catch with whoever they're dating. And if I like you, if the chemistry's good enough, I'll just do whatever you tell me to do because I want to be with you. So people didn't learn how to love, they learn how to attach.
But is that like a sign of that's your representative?
Absolutely.
You know, it's like you're not even giving me who you are.
Absolutely.
So you're giving me a mass of who you think I should.
Well, people are used to being attached to other people. So we're used to doing things to please people, to be attached to us. But love isn't that. So empowerment, you're free to be who you are. And until you can really be vulnerable, until you can be exposed, so you can really put it all on the table and be okay with expressing what you want without feeling judgment behind it, it's going to be hard for you to date with intention because it's a facade. Like you said, it's just a mask.
So how long does it normally take you guys to match someone?
It really depends. It really depends. We've actually been communicating with individuals, and because of what we learn about them, I actually know who I'm matching them with before they come on board as a client.
Oh yeah, I love that.
The intuition is there, and then our system it uses the algorithms as well to kind of match people up. But then we go in on top of that and really layer in what we know about each individual to match them up. We had that exact situation, and we had a couple that we put together, and their first date, it was a virtual date because they live in different states, and they stayed on that call for like over 5 hours.
Oh wow!
Good conversation. The only reason they got off is because she was like, "Oh, I had to go grab dinner. I hadn't eaten anything, so I had to go grab dinner." It was like, well, that was a great conversation.
Oh yeah,
right. So it really depends on what that individual is looking for and who we already, because we have like our database, we have our network of matchmakers, and then we're always adding people, right? To our database where we meet great men, great women, always plugging them in.
So hold on, because let's talk about this now. Is there some people in there married saying they single?
They cannot be.
Okay.
Because when they join our database, before we actually start matching them, they got to fill out a database agreement, and part of that agreement is that we do background check. So I mean, if you are married and all the things, we're gonna find out.
It's gonna pop up.
I got to pop up. Only single people. Worse than everything.
Single.
That's
single and available.
Yes, and available. Because I think we in like such a crazy world of like people not being authentically their self, and it's kind of like I got one foot in, I'm married, but I also got another foot over here because I might want to leave that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like be real. Like I married my wife because I love her. I married because I seen myself with her. The long vision. And that's the reason why we build one marriage, two hustlers. People ask us, what do that mean? I'm saying we're one and we're both hustling. We're both entrepreneurs. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's like one vision though. So
Absolutely. I love that. But so you said earlier though, you were talking about another thing that PowerMate represents, and it is a legacy.
Yes.
Legacy minded. So what you're talking about is exactly what we're talking about. We believe that you're not just a PowerMate inside of your home, but you really impact the community. We need to see more good representation of healthy relationships, love, and marriage. And we don't have a lot of that. So it's your responsibility as a PowerMate, even the ones who we've already matched, it's still the responsibility to show up the right way. So we put a big emphasis on that being a part of our brand too.
I think it's hard for married couples and people in relationships sometimes we kind of shy away from it because we get so much negative backlash because people have this, I don't know where they get this from, but the perception that, oh, all married people cheat, or all men this, or all married people are unhappy, or whatever the case may be. So you're right. It's our responsibility to show that.
And one of the questions we get too is like, how y'all both entrepreneurs and working together every day?
Yeah.
You know, y'all got to work together here.
Yeah.
And you go
make videos, you got to go home. You know, so they get that. They get that a lot. So what are some of the key qualities that you would like really match somebody up with? Like, if you had to have like some key qualities, what are 2 or 3 qualities that matches them?
So core values.
Oh, right? Core values. Okay.
Yes, definitely core values is one of them. What we hear a lot is because of where these people are at in life, the other person has to be marriage minded. Like they have to be, family is a big one, right? Do they want to have kids, not have kids? So we have that discussion. Also, what's the word? I would say religion, but it's not so much religion, like their beliefs.
Okay, beliefs.
Because you have a lot of people now, it's like it varies from Christianity, God-fearing, loving, spiritual, new age, like it just
it's a lot. The matchmaking game is serious. Like, you learn a lot about people.
And that's why we have so many layers to our process. Like, first of all, if we're going to be matching somebody with somebody else, they've already gone through like an extensive process with multiple layers. So going back to your question before, if there are people in there that are married, we have a free community where anybody, it's a Facebook group, you know, anybody can just join. And I'm pretty sure there's folks in there that should not be in there. It's a singles group, but they're married. The same way you get this with online dating platforms. Right?
That's true. That's
people
true.
on there that are not supposed to be on there, but they're married, because all you got to do is just go set up a profile. If someone is going to be in our database, we have people that start the process and then not finish it because they're like, I'm not about to do this.
They're like, I got to
Exactly.
They're already on to me.
Busted.
The application alone is 3 steps.
Okay.
Right? It's like the first step, your general information. The second step, tell me more about you. And we're asking questions because we really want to get to know you. And then tell me about your preferences. You really got to tell me that you've taken the time and really put some thought into the person that you want to date. So when I look at the responses that come from that application, I can be like, okay, we got this person, we got that person, or no, we don't have anybody. We got to go out and go look for this person for them. So for someone who isn't serious, they're not going to take the time to do all of that just to be in a database. You know what I mean?
And I think it seems like it's very interesting because it's like if you have 30 men that's single, then you have 90 women, because usually that's how it go.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you take these 30 men and match them up with one of these 90 women?
So the system that we have, it uses algorithms. So we can literally go in, and generally we would have the women, and it would say this is what the system says. This woman and this man is, so she matches his preferences 78%.
I got you.
She matches her
I got you.
50%.
I got you.
And then we go in and take a look at it, and it's like, okay, based on what we know about her, based on what we know about him, that's probably isn't true. It's probably a bit higher or lower or whatever it is.
That's good.
And then we have a conversation with the person. So it's not just the system and the algorithms, but it's actually our human touch on top of it to really like verify that, this person matches what the other person says that they're looking for. And then we introduce them.
So we got a thing that we bring up all the time, and it's called, most people got to make 2 decisions. They're going to fight or they're going to take flight.
Right.
So kind of talk about that, about people taking flight versus fighting to make their relationship happen.
Flight, that I would say 98% of the time is out of fear.
Ooh, okay.
It's out of fear.
Okay.
When we are coaching clients, especially when they come in, they've worked on themselves and now they've gone out, they're dating, they're meeting people, whatever it is, and they get into these relationships. During the process of us coaching them, we coach them through those roadblocks or mishaps that come up.
Gotcha.
We take them over that hurdle and through that hurdle of fear. Now, if it's a situation where it absolutely like there's no compatibility or whatever it is, and they have to walk away, then we guide them along that path as well. But the majority of the time, it really is, this is coming up. This is similar to an experience I had in the past. I'm not going to go through this again.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to walk away. When they don't have us there as coaches, they don't have somebody who's unbiased that will give them that type of like information or rebuttal.
I got you.
Right. And then if they don't have somebody there, period, they're like, I'm not going to go through this. I'm just going to go my separate ways. And it's easier, especially, I mean, we work with grown people. They're all
of course.
They've probably been married in the past, or if they haven't been married, they've been in serious relationships. And it's always easier for somebody to walk away when something looks like it's tough or it looks similar to a past experience. And they're like, oh, this came up before my last relationship. This is what happened in the last relationship. We broke up, so I'm not about to do this again. I'm gonna walk away because
we have a hotline for our matchmaking tonight. They can reach us on demand.
We
talk people off the ledge many a night because they were in that flight mode, right? So when they hit us up, they got direct access to either us or one of their coaches to really have that conversation. Because to Mika's point, that you're making decisions, and most of the people you call are going to support whatever you say.
Because they're
and that was the first people we're going to call. We're going to call somebody that's going to say, "Yeah, you're right." Yeah, you're gonna call us. We're gonna say, "Oh, actually, actually, did you do what did you do?" And now I'm making
the accountability piece.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a good question. This is a good one. Are y'all coaching or are y'all giving people therapy?
Well, we're not therapists.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not
But
therapists.
but he said something that you talking them off the ledge. So that's like a little bit like a therapist in a way.
When he said we do experiential coaching. Okay. That's exactly what.
That's what. Okay. I got
experiential coaching.
I got you.
Action oriented.
Okay.
So
I got you.
a therapist, I mean, they go to school. They have their degrees.
I got you.
They're under certain
oaths.
Exactly. Certain ethics.
I got you.
All of that. They're clinicians.
They're clinicians.
So typically, think of a therapist would be like the step one to us. A therapist is really going to help them deal with their trauma.
It's more about personal development with therapy.
Yes.
So it's that piece, but they're doing the coaching piece.
But they seem like, but some of them might need
the lines do cross, but they're not.
They kind of do.
They intertwine, but they're not the same.
A lot of therapists actually recommend their clients to us. So they're like, hey, we did the inner work. Now they need to just focus on the dating part. So we come to you for the dating. So we're very focused on the dating and relationship.
I like that.
Exactly. So we work with therapists to go back and forth if they need.
And especially with the hotline, it's like, in this moment, this is what's happening over here. What do I do?
Right. And so do you have, for example, when people call into the hotline, do you have people who because men may want to just confide in you and women may just want to confide in you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So they actually have open lines to each of us individually.
Oh, okay.
And then also a group with us
together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and a group for the whole group. So depending on what they want to share at any given time, they have an avenue depending on the level of privacy or whatever it is.
Right. Because I love that piece because, it's just like you said, depends on the situation and what they're asking. They may feel more comfortable.
Yeah, we do this event called the Man Cave. We had one. We did LoveCon in February. Brothers really having conversation. We really chopping it up. It was really good. You know what I mean? So we had that conversation. It was really iron sharpening iron. You got guys who are entrepreneurs, guys who are talking about relationships. They talking about with their kids, things they never told nobody else before. Just chopping it up. And it was a great experience. And we stay connected since then. So we have places. Because men need this stuff too.
They do.
We don't grow up knowing how to be no husband or how to lead the house. Or, where do we get our learning from? So it's good to be around men who have the experience. The streets, yes. And I learned that part, but I wanted to be a husband. I had to learn a different part.
Yeah.
So
it takes a new level. It takes a new level of thinking, though.
Definitely.
And I think whenever you're going into whatever relationship, you have to change your thinking.
Definitely.
Because we all have learned from our experience, and our experiences was making us who the person that we are here today, though.
I think when you're open and transparent, it makes it easier.
But that part, a lot of men not willing. Men especially, they not.
But that's what people say. But what we realized, so the man cave he's talking about, we did it as an element of our conference in February.
Okay.
At the same time, we had the Queen's Den. So it was like women in one room, the men were in one room, and we're in there chopping it up, having great conversation the way women always do. And we're like, okay, you know, when are the guys going to be done? When are they coming back in?
Yeah.
And the person that was running between, she was like, oh, they need another 30 minutes. I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
Like, what they talk about?
What we realized is people will say men don't talk, men don't get vulnerable. They do when it's in the right
situation.
Setting.
Because I deal with a lot of men, and I'm telling you, if it's the right situation, they will tell you their whole life story.
Yeah.
They will just
they won't turn it off. They will turn it off. Once you get it going, they go. Once they see it's safe, they gonna let it go.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is what we're trying to get a lot of women to understand. When they say that men don't talk, they do. But what is that space that you've created so they feel comfortable enough to get vulnerable? And a lot of times from us, that means that we have to get vulnerable and show that side of us so they see that it's safe.
And I think we have to stop talking.
Thank you.
And we be talking.
And just
come on, Rico. Come on.
After the fact. I'm the one that realizes after the fact. I'm like, man, if I would have probably just shut up, it would have
been all right. We have to do all that. That's right.
We're learning as we go.
Yeah, we're learning.
We're going to get turned up.
We're learning. And I think that is definitely something you learn over time in a relationship. You have to remind yourself of in a relationship.
We talked about this in the man cave, actually. I'm glad you said that. We talked in the man cave. We were talking about you really can't beat your woman in bickering, and neither should you be trying to.
Yes,
because it ain't no winning. If it's a bicker fight, you're not. It's done. I promise you, it's done. So just ain't no reason to go all that route. No, we got to find better ways to solve it. You know.
So let me ask you guys a couple questions though. One question is the age range that you guys are really like dealing with when it comes to being single. Like, what's the age range that you're dealing with?
So we attract anywhere from like, I'm going to say 25 to, I was going to say 49, but we actually had clients last year that found each other and they use our resources, and she was 63.
Okay.
So I can't remember how
I love that.
but our core like age range of people that, you know, we work with and actively coach is anywhere between 34, 35 to like 49.
Gotcha.
That's a good age group.
Yeah.
That's a very good age group though.
Definitely.
So what are some of the things you guys have learned while doing this over the last couple of years? Like, what's some things you guys have learned and experienced?
Man.
That can make y'all next 5 years better.
A big one for me is patience.
Okay.
A real big one. And I've learned that professionally as well as personally. I've had to develop that as a wife. Sitting down and listening and really taking time. I've had to develop that as a business owner, just for like business itself, and also as a coach with my client.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You just kind of think, like it is what it is. You're just gonna do it. But until you're going through it and you're in the scenarios and things are playing out, you don't realize how much you actually have to take time yourself to really like build up that muscle in you. That's one of the biggest things for me personally.
Yeah, and I like that. So for me, I think it's 3 areas. I think men need to have these 3 areas.
Okay.
A vision, plan, and action.
Love it.
And I think in all 3 of those areas, I'm better, and it set me up for the future. So as a visionary, as a CEO of our company, I can really articulate what I see in my mind and explain it in a way that we can get results. I'm a better planner in my marriage. I'm a better planner in my business, and I do executable action.
Yes.
And I do it with like massive action, and that's good in our relationship. It's also good in business. So I think it's going to continue to give us that sustainability we're talking about in our relationship.
I agree.
By continuing to do that in our relationship.
I love that. I love that. You have a question?
Yeah. No, I have a lot of questions, but I'm not going to go too deep. No, but the thing is, because I love the fact, I love exactly what you guys are doing, though. So when we talk a little bit about legacy, all right? Imagine we had a time capsule, okay? And you guys put this work in over the last, say, 20 years from now. What do y'all want y'all brand, PowerMate, to look like when it comes to others? Like how do? Yeah, go ahead.
I want there to be households.
Come on.
There is, a family unit, whatever that looks like, a husband, a wife, whatever it looks like, whatever the dynamic is. I want there to be households where people are slower to get angry. They're quicker to listen.
I like that.
They go back. When things come up, things arise, one of the first things that they're going to do is go back to what their foundation is, why they started, what brought them there. So they can really sit down and communicate, not just as a couple, but as a family.
I like that.
I feel like right now we're in such a microwave right now society where people just want things to happen now and want it to happen quick. Like, I want my kids to be good quick. Like, I want them to get good grades quick. I want them to be like scholar students, athletes, whatever it is. I want me and my wife, me and my husband to have great relationships like all the time. I want it to be the picture perfect on the outside all the time. And what I want the PowerMate legacy to be is, because of, it's crazy. We went to a conference in Chicago in November, and we met someone that we never knew. And she was talking to my husband and told my husband she heard our podcast, and something that he said on the podcast changed her life.
Come on.
This was a complete stranger. She's from Ithaca, New York. Like, where is that?
Like, wow. Yeah, wait.
Brooklyn, I don't know. Brooklyn, I don't know.
It's not even. It's like upstate. It's like just south of Buffalo. But my whole point in saying that is, I want our word and our message to spread so wildly that when you think of like a healthy household, a healthy family unit, something that PowerMate did or said contributed to that in some way, shape, or form.
Perfect.
I love it. How about you? What's your?
Yeah, I want people to instead of people saying I want to find my soulmate, I want them to say I want to find my PowerMate. I
like that.
I want it to be like that. I think especially for entrepreneurs, people with purpose, and for me, people that God gave a mission to, that they really need to get accomplished, you can do it better and faster with a PowerMate. So marriage is something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's just real talk. So I want you to really rethink marriage, rethink dating, rethink how you go about the whole thing, and really say, I deserve a PowerMate because I got big things to accomplish on earth, and I'm going to do it with the right person. So I want to have my PowerMate, and that's what I want to see people do over the years.
I love that, because if you have the next 23, 24, 25-year-old person seeing this video, what do you tell them, like, why they should come to you versus trying to... So say they've been dating from 18 to 24, 25, they haven't found the person. So why should they come to you guys so that they can find that person?
Yeah. So just like this, if you're watching us and we resonate with you whatsoever, it's like anything else in life, you have to gain skill sets.
Yes.
If you want to have sustainability in a relationship, you got to do that. I'm not saying whatever you believe, God's gonna have somebody for me. I got my Boaz. I'm not trying to talk you out of that part, sis. I ain't trying to talk you out of that, bro. What I am saying is what happens when you get it and you don't know how to sustain it. What happens when you're praying and saying you're gonna get a blessing? What happens when you get the blessing? What happens when you just let it spoil? You got to be really deliberate about dating. So if you're young and watching me right now, you're saying I want to have something special with the right person, you need a strategy. I'm telling you right now, everybody in this room dated without a strategy. And we all got stories. I promise you. If we start chopping it up, we got more stories. You don't have to do that. You can actually date with intention and do it the right way and do it in a healthy way and not have the residuals of bad relationships. You can actually do it the right way and have a mentor in your life. So I think PowerMate can be those people for you you can build legacy and relationship with.
And when I look at a mentor, I tell people this all the time. You need a mentor. Two things.
Definitely.
A mentor is like a GPS.
Definitely.
If I give you my address and I live in New York and you have to drive over there, you're going to head that way.
Yes.
But without that GPS, you might be in South Carolina somewhere.
Period. That's it. That's how it works.
So you need that GPS so the person at the GPS can help you quickly.
Yes.
And they can tell you, hey, don't go that way. Because there's some roadblocks over there. Come on around this way, you can get here faster. Yes. So I think that's very important that people need.
I love that. And it's just about the investment. We always say when you pay attention.
That's a fact.
And so I
That
think
is a fact.
it's easy to get on, these apps and do all these things, but you're not getting the guidance. You're not getting that individualized plan. You don't have that person you can just call up like, hey, coach, this happened. I'm about to leave this place. Can you? I don't know. So you don't have that. You don't have access to that. And so I think that's what they're doing is bringing that piece. And you need that piece, especially when you've done it wrong all these years and it hasn't been working for you, sis or bro. Like he said,
straight up.
Just trying to help you. They're just trying to help you. And so I already have some people. I was like, oh, I'm about to send them over there because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's perfect.
I don't want to hear it no more.
I don't want to hear it in this area. Yes. And so that was really one of the reasons why we wanted to bring them on, because there's a lot of singles out here who are struggling and they need to know about you guys. And so we want to definitely bring it to our audience.
Yes.
Because sometimes we don't have answers. I'm like, well,
so we saw focus on we saw focus on getting the bag. We be like, hey.
No doubt. What does got to do with money? This is like a revenue generating activity. I feel you.
Could you imagine? I'm like, oh, I got stomach problems.
Right.
Let me go over here to this brain surgeon though. Brain surgeon. I should do it with my stomach.
I'm not a gastro. What is it called? Gastrologist.
Whatever. Gastro into something.
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly.
So y'all say y'all have a podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, we've done season 1 of the podcast, and now so I've come to y'all's phenomenal studio.
They're bringing it back.
You know what I mean? Like this.
Just bring it back. Episodes in a season. Let's just work this out.
Yeah. Season 1 was very hot. It was called the Love Team. Vegan's from Jamaica. She's from Montego Bay.
We love going there.
Jamaica?
Yeah.
Got married in Jamaica.
Okay.
Negril.
Negril. Okay. Yeah, we lived there for 6 months.
Yeah, we brought 52 people with us. 52. They said it's the biggest wedding they ever seen.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We would go back over and over again if it was up to him. He wanted every vacation. Let's go back to Jamaica.
I love it. I love it.
My people, man.
That's hilarious.
I love it. I got all the way into the culture. I'm eating ackee and sawfish. You know what I mean?
Right. At home, I'm like, go to the shop. This is what I need.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm like, yeah. Out the store, tell him this is what you want. You wanted to come here, go immerse yourself.
When you go to Jamaica, I know. I ain't trying to go too long. So you go to Jamaica. Listen,
go.
When y'all go to Jamaica, if you're from the States or something like that, and you say, I'm gonna stand in line, and they'll call on me eventually. They will not. You'll be standing there all day. Let me tell you right now. If you're not assertive in Jamaica and getting what you got to get when you're on the road, you're going to be hungry. Come on. That's how they rock. So make sure you understand that. Don't be saying that looking crazy.
Especially for the driving. The drivers, I'm like, oh, God, please. Just be here because this is a lot.
I'm acclimated. I get there and I'm like straight from the airport, rent a car. I'm like,
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? I'm like, let's rent a car.
It is crazy.
It's a science, girl. It's
wild.
I think because it's the way that they be driving.
It's wild.
On the other side of the road.
It's wild.
They drive like crazy. So I have girlfriends that are like, I don't trust you to drive here, but you can drive me around in Jamaica.
And the way they flip on the road around them holes.
Yes,
it's an art. It's an art.
They're yelling out the window. I'm
yeah.
Let's get here safely. Oh, and then on the way to our wedding, the guy he stopped the bus because everybody was complaining because they have to stop at different places and drop people off, complaining, and he stopped the bus. Sit down. Am I driving the bus or you driving the bus? I'm like, oh God, please sit down.
In that country, can I
play seats and be quiet, y'all? We'll get there when we get there.
Have a seat.
Yeah. We love it. But yes, I just love, like she said, sending people to people who are experts in the area.
Yes, that's why I tell people all the time, like, just send them. I ain't trying to be an expert in everything.
No.
I'm an expert in some things, and some things I'm a beast.
We're like, this person. So it's okay to refer people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We do a lot of that. We refer people a lot because just like with therapy, if people come to us saying we're match made and we know you're not ready, we're ready to go get ready properly.
Then come back.
Yeah. And then we let it refer to can I say this? We refer to other black folks first. So if I have another black business owner out there that in the same space, you're going to get the business from me. And that's how we keep the economy rocking.
And she'll tell you how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I feel like we get them other people too much credit.
Absolutely.
And we got the same solutions.
Exactly.
And sometimes we way better than them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I think we just have to learn to be more confident
Yes.
And just know that when we were talking about this earlier, like your gifts will make room for you. We don't all have the same gifts. And so just because I send somebody over there doesn't mean that I'm not going to be getting more people over here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's room out here for everybody. It's stuff. It's customers out here for everybody.
And I just told a guy the other day, I was like, man, you know, God is so funny because he will give you a vision. And if you don't go do it, he going to give somebody else. And then you're going to be 5 years later, you're going to say, I had that idea. Hey, God said you didn't do it. I'm gonna use somebody else.
So I'm gonna do this because you prompted me to, and I'm mandated to say this.
Come on.
So, long story short, in 1 year, and we talked about being in Jamaica. In 1 year, I almost died 3 times.
Oh wow!
In 1 year, I'm talking about on my deathbed, like inches from death, looking death in the face, right? And God saved my life every single time, and I appreciate that. But what He was doing was getting my attention about something in particular, right? And on that 3rd time when He saved my life, He gave me a mandate to tell people when I feel prompted, just like that. So I guaranteed I said it every single time, especially for entrepreneurs, people with a vision, people to be getting it done, people that have put things on the shelf and they've gotten dusty. I'm telling you, right now you're gonna be bold or broke. That's how it works.
I love it.
If you have something that's big inside of you right now, family, I'm telling you, if you are not working toward that thing right now, if you're in alignment with the assignment and get bold or broke, you're gonna find yourself in a situation that ain't nobody can get you out of. God gave you a purpose and a vision. If you do not move on that thing, so it works with entrepreneurships, it works in relationship, or anything else that you know is supposed to be yours, you're not moving on, and it's getting dusty, you're gonna be bold or broke in money and broke in if you don't do something about it. So that's just, I gotta make sure I say that.
I love that because you know what? We tell people right now we have a couple that we're doing their course. They're called risk takers. I mean, they're making $500,000 a year doing box trucks and freight dispatching. They hustlers. But the thing I love about it is their brand is called Risk Takers. Take a risk. It's too many. God told me it's too many people going to the gravesite with ideals and visions.
Absolutely.
That should already been already on the earth.
Absolutely.
No, but we so worried about competition when Walmart right here.
Yes.
Target right here.
Yes.
Lowe's right here. Home Depot right here. Sometimes I was looking for one thing and I had to go in all 4 stores.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's straight up.
And so again, it doesn't matter whenever you line your vision up with God, He's gonna bring the people to you.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about them. They coming.
Absolutely.
You know, so so anything you guys want to ask us, we like to flip the floor around. You know,
ask a question, man. Hit him,
I already asked a question before we got started. I'm gonna say this because we talked about this earlier. Being a entrepreneurial couple, you guys probably talked about this already, but what would you say is like one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who they might be 2 entrepreneurs in a relationship and they've recognized like, this is my person, or we're gonna go down this road. What's one piece of advice that you would give them as far as being a couple, dating, and being entrepreneurs, like spending pretty much all your time together?
I would say
be successful.
I guess my answer would be to set boundaries. Make sure you set boundaries. We talked about this last week. We were like, wait, because we usually do a date night every Thursday is our date night. And so we've been working so much. We're like, it's been 3 weeks. We haven't did it. Oh, we got to do our date night this week. Like, I don't care. Work has to stop. We have to do our date night. And so I think just recognizing, like doing those check-ins. We do weekly meetings.
Yeah, we have we call it weekly business relationship meetings.
Yeah. And so there we talk about, okay, what do we have to do this week for the business? What do we have to do for our marriage? What do we have to do personally? Like those things. Like he knows on Mondays, I don't come here. I go, that's my self-care day. Like I'm going to work out. I'm going to do what I have to do. So I think just creating those boundaries and creating a schedule for yourself, that's really going to help both of you keep that balance.
My biggest thing is know what that person good at.
Yeah.
And know what you good at.
Absolutely.
And assign a task to them and don't worry about it, and they'll assign a task to you. Me, I do all the video editing here. You know what I'm saying? We hired a guy, but I also do the video editing here. I don't actually do no video editing in this place.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I do all the video editing. So, and then she's the brains behind it.
Yeah.
So
she's more of the business side.
She's more like
accounts, the payout.
Making sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's a big part. That's a big part.
That's a huge part. You get lost in the sauce, you don't got that part.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
So I think just balance and boundaries. I think just make sure you keep those clear, even with your family, guys. With family and business, it can be difficult. Especially when you're running a business and family, they need help, friends need help. Like I have somebody right now that's like, hey, I'm gonna call you. And I'm like,
no, go buy the ebook.
You have to book a consultation.
Right.
Yes.
Because what I'm learning is that you call me, but now we're on the phone for 30, 40, like,
and that's a whole session.
Yeah, that's a whole session, really.
So look, they asking for a question that we have to answer to in the ebook.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you need that, please go buy that ebook.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Don't call me. You know what I'm saying?
If I don't tell you anything else, if you're an entrepreneur, couple, boundaries, guys, boundaries. You're gonna need them. Your heart sometimes will tug at you, but just make sure that you stay business minded, stay grounded, and set those boundaries.
Yes. We've done a lot of unnecessary free work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in the past, we've done it a lot. So because we didn't understand boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think and this is something that we have mastered. We have set systems up so that so you want to know about podcasting? You can come with us 3 ways. Number 1, we give you ebook for $47. Number 2, we give you a digital course for $297. Or we can train you for 1 year for $2,500, and we can do your first 2 podcasts for free.
Yep.
And you can come and we'll show you exactly what you need to do. So listen, if you have any questions, you better go click and buy.
Do it like that.
That's it.
You have to do it.
It's more simple that way.
You have to do that, and we weren't doing that for a long time, and I think that's what really changed things for us is really getting structured. Because I think the easier we made the process, we gave the journey to the customer, the easier it was for them to pay us. Yeah. So we did a lot of
that clarity.
Yeah, we did a lot of things for free that we should have been charging for.
Come on,
and you know what I mean? Like we had to go back and really evaluate. And some people even had to tell us, y'all gave us that, but that was probably y'all could have paid $1,500 for that. It was
when they start telling you, we had that happen to us.
Yeah, I would have paid $1,500 for that easy.
And now that I'm talking to a lot more entrepreneurs, I'm realizing it wasn't just us.
It's not.
It comes with the journey. Yeah. However, going back to the mentor piece, the more we have mentors in our lives that have already done it and been there, they share this kind of stuff with us. Yes. And it saves us quicker. Oh, right? Like I heard somebody
the heartache.
Exactly. One of our mentors, I heard him sharing a story about, selling a product. And because he wasn't confident enough in his pricing, he was like, oh, it's $500. And people bought it. And when they bought it up so quick, he was like, they were like, oh, that should have been $1,500. Whatever. And he would go sell it again and sell it for $700, and then the same thing happened. For us, we have people in our community right now that met in our community, got married, living great life, changed their life.
I love it.
And when we started putting stuff out, we gave it to them for free. And I'm like, the thing that is so monumental, it was like a life changer for you. That came from work that one of the first interactions was the young lady, she went through her book study. It was 8 weeks. And we were like, oh, it's our first book. It's our first time doing this.
Free.
Just cut.
It's all
your whole life just changed.
People don't really respect free.
They don't.
The thing.
We did that when we opened the studio.
Yeah, so we held a class here.
Yes.
And the people was like, oh my God, y'all giving this for free? You know what I'm saying? And so I told my wife, I said, you know what? Let's get smart.
We're like, no more.
Any questions that they ask, we create products.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Absolutely. And then it's better say, you want to talk to me for 30 minutes at $75.
Yes.
Or you can go ahead and buy the ebook for $47.
Yes.
And you have it for a lifetime.
Yeah, for a lifetime. So what you want to do? I think that's very important though. So
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to charge. I mean, it's your time. Your time's valuable, and you know what you're bringing to the table. So I know what I'm bringing. I'm confident in my product. I'm confident in my service. Hey, you can go somewhere else, or you can keep trying to figure it out, or you can save that time by go ahead.
And speaking of,
go ahead.
But speaking of saving time too, since we're kind of on the topic, what we also learned is that it wasn't about doing the wrong thing fast. It's about doing the right thing more efficiently.
Yes.
And that was that's a big difference as an entrepreneur. Because I think a lot of times, just like in relationships, we're doing the wrong things real fast and working real hard, but that's not the goal. The goal is to be more efficient. And then that's how I buy back my time. So we really changed our mindset about how we do our business. Instead of doing like crazy free challenges, 7-day, 10-day free challenges, and that people are like getting crazy results. Wait. Why don't we just give you the challenge inside of our membership? Or why don't we give the matchmaking clients this transformation and making it intensive? They've already paid for it. Why are we doing all these free challenges? And then y'all ain't buying this stuff anyway. But but I want to say this too. When Mika was talking about all the things we were getting away for free, you know what we did do? We got digital currency. We got the testimonials. We got the reviews. We got the videotapes.
So it came back around.
You got to get all that stuff too.
But it did because we got smart about it.
And I tell people, I call it the 4 S's. Number 1, you got to learn. You got to start it. So that's the ignition.
Yes.
Number 2, you got to have some kind of structure. The third one is you need to systematize it. So your hands can be off of it.
Yes.
And then you got to scale it.
Yes.
So once you got those 4 S's,
that's good.
It becomes easy to understand. Man, I have so many. I do my own podcast. She got her own podcast. I got my own podcast, and then we got a podcast together.
Okay.
So let's tell you how much content we put out. You know what I'm saying? So I have people every week coming in, and people like, "Hey man, who do your editing?" I say, "Me," and I got another guy. Man, I said, "I can teach it to you for $350." They say, "No, I need you to edit it." So I told my wife, let's create a digital editing thing where they can pay per month a subscription.
Yeah.
They pay $197 a month and I edit 16 videos for them.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And then guess what? I'm about to finish it. I'm sending a message. They're going to pay for it.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
So whatever they're asking for, we're packaging it up, putting it together.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's where it comes from. Creativity. I used to hate when people call me a creative. I thought, creative is the only thing that's creative is rap. You know what I mean? And I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, so don't call me creative. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was creative, but I didn't realize I could be a creative visionary. I could be a creative planner. I could be creative in how I execute things. Creativity, just like you did with that. That's creativity when you come with that idea. So we started tapping into that with our business too.
I love that. So I guess to wrap up, my last questions would be, what's next for you guys? What's next? Where can we find you? Any conferences? Anything that you guys are doing big this year?
So we just wrapped up. It was the first one, but there'll be more. Our conference. It's going to be our flagship annual conference. It's called PowerMate Love Con. It was here in Houston in February. What's next for us? We have a retreat. We haven't decided on the location yet.
Okay.
But we did it last year. We're gonna do it again this year. It's probably gonna be in August. Whatever city it's in, it's gonna be takeover. So whatever state. So last August, it was Texas takeover. It's retreat style. It's private. It's intimate. You talk about you want to have your coaches for 3 days in wherever you are, mansion, hotel, whatever it is. And that's where you're really getting that experiential learning because we teach them and then we take them out. And while you're out, we're able to coach them like in the field.
That.
So are we in a
they're the star of the show.
Come on.
And it was so much fun. It was so dope. It was private. People are like, "Oh, what's the event? I want to come." Nope. It's a VIP client only retreat. See what's going on, but you can't come. So our clients are the only ones that will have access to that. And then the main thing is next year leading into our larger conference. It's probably we'll see. It's probably gonna be in Houston again, but in between all of that, we have the different things that we do, and we do a lot of stuff virtually. So it doesn't matter where you are. People can join us for our challenges, or we just did a master class. So we did our challenge. It was the Do Dating Differently challenge, and then we had a flirting master class.
I love it.
Was so good.
Yes,
like we taught them, and then they were able to go into breakout rooms and practice what they were learning with people who were like also single too.
The guys said they weren't good at flirting. They were honest. They're like, "Oh man, I'm not good at communicating." You would think a guy would be good. I'm not that good at it. So it was cool to see the fellas work on it the same way the women were. That was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So are you guys bringing in other coaches and stuff to help you guys when you're doing the conferences? Like other people?
Absolutely.
If y'all need us to do some, we'll show you what we do. Y'all need us to come in
and do some
No, I'm just saying. Because we do so much good things here. Like we do 16 great things in this building, though. So we are real big on like.
The entrepreneurship piece and working together for sure.
Yeah. I love that. Well, we locked in. Absolutely. I say before you finish what you said. Like, oh yeah. We go, no doubt. Whatever. Yeah, we'll make it work.
The whole purpose of the conference is really showing people real relationships. And like the real side of relationships that they can look forward to. Right? So we had therapists at the last one. We had a sensuality/sexuality coach that was there. She actually works with us now in our community. Like we said, we created the different spaces for like the men and the women. We had a couples panel where it was like real couples that shared their stories. So these singles could see like, oh, this is what the journey to a real marriage looks like. And they're not just coming up here saying we're perfect and we don't fight at all.
You said, I'm gonna wrap. I won't go long on this, but you said something before about the big vision. And I think Meek is talking about it right there too. We don't have to be the only game in town.
Come on.
At all. What we want to do is we want to create a space where we can support other coaches, support other. It's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. We're not going to do it all by ourselves. Yeah. So we're big on collaboration. People. Yeah, we're big on collaboration, doing it the right way, doing it the responsible way. But even coaches underneath PowerMate, we have a lot of people who have been coaches and dating coaches and relationship and therapists and different disciplines who come to PowerMate to come and work with the people in our community. So we want to hear different perspectives. We're all moving to the same
it's going to help direction, people, right? And that's the whole reason why we're all doing this.
Absolutely.
And I'm big on us. I said, so
that's why we created our podcast anyways, because we having authentic conversations, and then we didn't see too many couples doing it together.
Black couples
doing it together.
Getting podcasts. Like we're on season number 8 right now. We do 20 episodes. 20 episodes per season.
Yeah, he's trying to kill me with 20 episodes. It's like, you're going to do 20 on your podcast. I'm like, no, this is my podcast, and I'm doing 10. 10 is for me. But he does 20.
Okay, that's awesome.
But I love that. I love that.
Anything else I want to add?
You have, babe?
You asked how you could find us. So our website.
We're gonna put it on the bottom.
Okay, so our website is PowerMates with an S.io. But a lot of what you can find from us is on our IG. So marriedlife is our IG, and if you click the link in the bio, our whole list of links come up as whatever we have going on at the time.
I love it.
I'm sending some of y'all over there.
Right? All of it. It's there. So website or IG.
Okay. Definitely. And we'll have that in the description and up on the screen for you guys.
Anything else I want to add?
Y'all.
I think the interview was amazing. Thank y'all for having us. We appreciate this. It's good to see Black folks just doing love and business together.
Man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I like it. It's a big weekend. We're the ones that are gonna fix whatever woes in our community. We're the ones that are gonna fix it. I love to see us unify and bond like this and be able to take it outside of just 2 people and make this a real movement in our community to have these type of relationships. So I think it's really special. So I appreciate it.
Yes. And we thank you guys for coming. And at the end of the year, we're having a podcast gala. And so everybody that has been on our podcast, we're on all of our podcasts.
Yeah, so we probably gonna have about 300 people there. It's gonna be a room majority filled of Black. It should be over $1 million. $1 million worth of people, like not income wise in that room.
That's amazing.
Over $100 million, not 1 million. Over 100 million.
All right.
Of Black excellence.
That's amazing.
In that room.
In one room.
That's amazing.
So you guys will be in the building.
My man told me the a couple weeks ago, man. He was like, Rio, there's Black excellence. There's Black excellence. You know what I mean? Excellence. He's like, we doing Black excellence. You know what I mean? So this is what's happening here. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
And I love when we have people on where we get inspired.
Yes.
Because I told them, like, certain people, I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, y'all came and dropped some gems. Yes. I can't wait to go back and watch this episode.
Yes.
I love that. And we are just looking forward to the connection.
Absolutely.
So let's close it out, man. Listen, thank you guys for watching us like you watch TV. You keep watching us. I promise you'll watch your relationship grow, and you will also watch your income grow. We see you guys in the next video.
Peace, guys.
You're kicking it with the Christians. You're kicking it with the Christians. One marriage, two hustlers, it shows. We'll travel the globe in search of endless possibility. You're kicking it with the Christians. Together we'll conquer it all. Take the highs with the lows, 'cause there's no losing with this energy. You're kicking it with the Christians.
Don't forget to follow us on all platforms.